Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Wait, there's about 70 people that are going to join in on this, so I'm going to add some things while we're doing that. Did you get it, babe?
Do I have to get the app?
Yeah, you have to go over there, though. Hey, Cal. Okay. We have about 5 more minutes, so we'll hang till everybody gets here.
Hi, Brandy.
Hi. I just put the link
Should I
in
be
for
hearing
the
people
slideshow.
now?
What? Hi, Terry.
Not hearing it.
What account do you want me to be on, Mom?
Your school account. Okay, we'll wait about 3 more minutes and then we'll start. Thank you guys for coming out today.
Hi, I can't hear anybody. I don't know what's going on.
Who is that?
That was Terry Siegel.
Thank you. Terry, let's see.
Nobody's talking to.
So Terry, down in your left-hand bottom corner of your screen, there should be a mute and an unmute. That might maybe play around with that for a minute.
Good morning, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Or afternoon.
Okay, we have a couple more minutes. I want to make sure we wait until everybody gets in. I don't want to start and then have anybody miss it. But I did want to let you know that today is, this is more of a bare bones. This is how you start your Google Classroom. This is how you add students. This is how you can create a rubric. This is how you can do different types of assignments. So if you're well versed in Google, it could be a little basic, but at the same time, there will be opportunities. I sent the slideshow in the chat, and make sure that you can click on that and you can go through that slideshow to kind of give you a brief overview of what will be in the training. But I'm hoping it's mostly people that need to learn how to do Google Classroom, because we have such a wide range
Speaker
of
view.
people.
I did that already. See, it's saying it's.
That's your microphone though.
Terry, can you sign in and out?
Look up here in these options. The recording. Why don't you go out of it and then go back in?
while everybody's getting started, I just wanted to say hello. I'm only popping in for just a second. I'm going to get on to get another call, but man, it's so good to see all you guys. This is like the highlight of my last 3 weeks, actually. Looking at the big, giant Brady Bunch setup we got here. It's really good. I've missed you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. And thank you to Stephanie and the Ed Services team and everybody else for everything you're doing. This has been a crazy, crazy time. So I'm really excited that you guys are at least back connected again. I wish I could have one big giant, I'm going through all the screens. I wish I could have one big giant Brady Bunch thing for you all, but then I suppose you'd be too tiny. So anyway, hello everybody and have a great evening, and I'll get out of your hair.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, guys, let's see. It's 1 o'clock right now, so I want to start as soon as possible because there's a lot of information that we're going to be going through. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me?
Stephanie,
I can hear.
is it possible to send out that link on Gmail so that we could put it on our iPad too? The slides.
The Zoom or the slides?
The slides.
Sure, I can do that for you.
I'll do it.
Kelly, I was going to say, Kelly, would you mind doing that?
Yeah,
Kelly,
I've got it, and I've also got the chat. So if you guys have questions as Stephanie's talking, I'll be manning the chat and providing you with answers to those questions.
Thank you.
She's my techie girl today.
I'm going to go mute because my kids are really loud.
Okay,
so
yeah. And that was one thing I was going to suggest to everybody, that we all mute, only because, not because I don't want to hear what you have to say, because I definitely do, but if we're all muted, then we don't have that background noise happening. But then when you do have questions, put them in the comments and then we can address them. Either Kelly can type in the answer or I can stop at certain points and kind of go through the answers to that. Are we all good? Okay, I'm going to share my screen right now. And I'm going to show you, we're just going to walk through and we're going to do basically setting up a classroom. I know some of you already have your classroom. My daughter's on too. So she's going to, at the end, she's going to show some student examples. So that's why I turned around, because I could hear my voice. Turn down the sound, Mia. Okay. Okay. So let's start. We're going to go back. I apologize. All right. So this will be our first distance learning PD. I'm really excited to put it on. We're going to look at what Google Classroom has to offer. And I put all of the student profile concepts up there because I feel like Google Classroom really supports all of them. There's teacher-student interaction, student-student interaction, teacher-parent interaction, share student work. They get to share their own work. You can post a class question to talk about, they could use their critical thinking skills. You can post assignments and tasks. You can get class feedback and thoughts. And you can actually, there's a really cool new tool that's a rubric. So you can really push kids to get those higher end levels in their writing and any kind of assignments you're doing. And then you have the ability to post 24 hours a day. So it gives you that flexibility, especially in this distance learning atmosphere that we're in right now. And it promotes student dialogue. And also the classroom connects to all the G Suite apps. So you're going to see that you can pull up a doc, you can pull up a spreadsheet, you can pull up all of those things because it's connected so seamlessly to the G Suite. Sorry. There are some apps and websites that you can use, and I'll show you at the end, that they take you right into posting an assignment into Google Classroom. You don't even have to go into Google Classroom. And like I said, there's some great rubrics, and originality reports is a new thing where if you click that and they're doing a writing piece in their Google Docs, it'll tell if that information is plagiarized or not. So it gives you that insight, but it also gives the students, like, am I doing this correctly? Okay, so we're gonna start with logging on. And I know this sounds basic and simple, but I know that there are some people in there that were having trouble with this. So we're gonna log on. If you guys could open in a separate screen your Google Classroom, and I'll show you where you do that. You're going to go to Google, and you'll go to the little grid that's up there, the G Suite. You'll click on it and you'll see Classroom. And I'm going to be making this into a cheat sheet for everybody too, so that you can have it with you at all times. So what I want to do right now, there were several teachers that I got emails from that they said they could not add a class. And it's because your role is not correct. So what we're going to do is we're going to see that everybody has the correct role assigned. So when you go into your Google Classroom, you should see a plus sign up in the corner. If you don't see that, I would like you to go to that last slide in the slideshow that Kelly sent in your email and click on the link and put your name in. Andrew in our tech department will immediately change your role so that you'll have that plus sign in there.
Okay, hang on, Stephanie. So Kelly sent us an email.
I'm sorry?
Sent us an email.
She should have with the link of the slideshow. But I can actually put that link right now into the chat. Let me do that.
That would be easier because I keep losing you guys.
Sorry. Okay.
I don't see the email.
So I just put that spreadsheet in there that has, if you do not have the plus sign, you need to go in there. So Maria, if it says you need a code, then you need to go to the Google spreadsheets and put your name in. Andrew, are you on here? No. Okay, well, I want to start moving on. And so those people that don't have the plus sign, if you could just kind of follow along until Andrew gets that set up for you.
Can I ask a quick question, Stephanie?
For sure.
So for resource specialists, I've been told two different things. That we should not create our own Google Classroom, that we should be added to our Gen Ed teachers' Google Classroom. And then I've been told, yes, we should create our own Google Classroom, that we can have just our RSP kids in there.
So I think that is up to you and your team. I do think you should be added to your teachers' classrooms, and I'll show you how to do that in this process. But
Can I add something?
Yes.
I am a resource teacher at Lakeside Middle, and I have gone into Google Classrooms with my students that I work with their teachers. If I sign up as a co-teacher, I get flooded with every student in the school's assignment. So
Right.
What I've asked my teachers is to add me as a student so that I can see the work and see what the expectations are. And then I'm also setting up my own Google Classrooms for my regular academic supports, just so I can talk to the students. So I'm going to do both, but I just found it very frustrating if I signed on as a co-teacher, because I literally had every student in the school's work showing up on my drive.
Right, and I think that's a good suggestion. I think it depends on your caseload too. If you have a smaller caseload, then maybe it would be something that you could manage by signing on. But if you would want to create your own, that's totally fine, because it would be more of an enrichment resource for those kiddos. Kelly, do you want to respond to that at all?
Yeah, so basically right now at this time, so what we had suggested, if you were part of the work groups last week, was that it would be better for you to just see and peek in on what your the teachers that you're supporting are doing, because you're right, you will get inundated with emails. There are some resource teachers who do have their own. The caveat being that if you're working with littles, they can't get into Google Classroom without their LSUSD.net domain. So if you're working with kinders and trying to push stuff out that way, it's going to be difficult. So for now, I would suggest you just team up with your regular teacher.
Okay, we're going to move on just because of time, but please keep putting in those questions as we're going, because Kelly will be there to answer those. Okay, so let's start our first class. Hopefully we're all at the same point. If you aren't there, please speak up so that I know how we can address the problem. So on your screen, you should see a plus sign.
I have a question. I'm not a teacher, I'm speech, but I don't have a classroom. I shouldn't probably have a classroom, right? Or
so I'm going to show you, well, I'll show you how you set up the classroom, because there's different ways you can do it, and it's not linked to our, it's not linked to Illuminate. The parents actually put in a code. So I'll show you what you can do, and then you can kind of decide, yeah, I want to start my own or I don't. But at this point, like Kelly said, the ones that will be on the actual website that we're sending out for distance learning are just the classroom teachers. But you could probably have a link within that classroom teacher's Google Classroom that links to yours.
And what is the code that I would put in?
So I'm gonna go through the process.
Okay.
And then you'll see. So hopefully if you don't have a plus sign, just go along with me, and then I can actually meet with you tomorrow too, virtually, and we can walk through individually if we really need to do that.
Awesome. And then just to keep this moving, can you guys please just put your questions in the chat so that way Stephanie can keep rolling, because we only have an hour and we want to make sure that it's as focused as possible. So any other questions, just shoot me a quick message in the chat and I will get to you as soon as I can.
Thanks, Cal. Okay, so we're going to click on the addition sign, and then you're going to see a drop down. It's going to say join class or create class. If it just says join class, once again, you need to put your name into that spreadsheet, because that means your role is not as a teacher, and Andrew Newmark needs to change it. You're going to click on create class. So everybody should be able to create a class at this point. The next step is to put your name in, whatever you want your parents and students to see. So that was what I put here. Parents and students will see the class name. You don't have to put section, subject, and room if you don't want to, if you're not middle school, or the only thing that's required is the class name, and then you click create. Okay, so at that point you should have a class that's popped up. So within your class, it's going to look something like this.
Did Dean come in here?
What? Oh, is that Cal? Okay. So when you have your stream here, I want you to, at the top, to click on the stream button. And you're going to see that that is just where everything feeds. And now I want you to go over to the people button. So if you click on the people button, then what happens is it's going to say click on the plus, it's going to go here, and you want to add students or give them the code. My suggestion is to give the code to the parents, email it to them. If you add to students, if you just have them add, it's going to get emailed to them, and 99% of the students don't check their email. So what I suggest is email this code to all the parents. Kelly, is there anything I need to jump on right now?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, our home screen. So if you go back, if you can toggle back to it, you're going to have a screen that looks like this. This is all my Google Classrooms. I actually have more going down here. I used Mrs. Jones' kindergarten as an example. Right up here is the site menu. Over to the right with the plus is classroom management. So when you click on that, it gives you the option to join or create a class. We've already found out how to do that. I just wanted to remind you that that's what that's for. And then down here on the third, these little dots are the class management. So you can move your class, you can edit the name of it, you can copy it and make 2 of them. or you can archive it. So once you do this class, I would suggest at the end of the year to archive it, because what happens is our kiddos want to talk to one another or try to comment to you throughout the summer and the next year. So if you archive it, they cannot. Right here is your Google folder. All the activities that you do in Google Classroom will be in that folder, and you can click on it and it will take you straight to that folder. This one is for the grade book. So when you click on that, it takes you to your grade book, and I'll review all of these things as we're going along, but I just wanted to identify all the parts. Okay. Now we're going to go to the stream. So the stream, I'm not a fan of the stream. And what that means is, whoops, sorry. It shows all of the work that's going on. And it's not very organized. It's just chronological. So I always direct my kids to the classwork page. But if you really, really want, if you see here on number 3, there's the 3 dots. You can click on those and you can move around posts. So maybe there's an important one that you want to move to the top. You go down there and you move it to the top. Or if you want to copy this link to put into another Google Classroom, you can copy the link or edit it. Okay, classwork. So if you click on the classwork tab right there, that's where you're going to be assigning all of your activities. And so if you look at the number 2, it says create. When you click on that, the drop down allows you an assignment, a quiz assignment, a question, a material. You can reuse the post if you want to post it again or into another class. And then this is to create a new topic, and I'll go over how to do that in a couple of minutes. Right here is your Google Calendar. When you click on that, teachers, you're going to be taken to your own Google Calendar, and it might look a mess with all your meetings and all that, but when the students go to that, all they see are the assignments that they need to turn in and the due dates, which is really nice. And then right here is managing the post. So if you look down here, you can rename it, you can delete it, or copy the link to send to somebody. Sorry. Okay, so that's the stream. Oh wait, the classwork page, I'm sorry. So that one is the one where you can manage the posts. I'm going to show you later how to create an assignment. I just wanted to go over the parts of the classwork page. Now we're going to click on the people page, which we've already looked at, but I want to show you some little ins and outs of the page. Right up here is where you're going to add co-teachers. So if you are working with someone, I know like at Lakeview, the 5th grade team all works together. If they want to add teachers and have them all on that page, that's what they could do. Or if you want to add, you know, your support teacher or something like that, you can do that. So that's that option right there. Here's where you're adding your students. So let's say you have your whole class and this one student just didn't sign in after you sent the code. You can add that student and put their email, and then hopefully just kind of encourage them and try to get them to sign in. It's a little harder when we're doing the distance learning. This right here is managing communication. So when this is my daughter, I put in the 3 dots. When you click on it over here, you can email the student, email the guardian, invite the guardians if they haven't been already invited, the parents, or you can remove them. So that's that option for managing and communicating with guardians. And then here on the actions is where you manage and contact students. So when you click on that, this will be the drop down. You can email them, you can remove them, or you can mute them so they can't talk at all on the feed. So if you just want a specific student who just really can't control himself on the Google Classroom or herself, you're going to click mute. Kelly, how are we doing?
We're good.
Okay, moving on. Okay, grades. So when you put in an assignment, and I put in some mock assignments here, you're going to be able to go to the grade book, and because you've graded those assignments. So for here, this is the assignment box. If you hover over the assignment, you'll see 3 dots right here. And when you click on that, it says edit or delete. So you can edit or delete your assignments from here in the gradebook. That's one way. In box 2 down here, I could enter grades for Mia, depending on it's out of 100. So maybe I put, 90%, I can put it in there. And then here, if you click on the name, what pops up is the page of the student that has all the assignments that they've done or you've assigned to them. And it shows everything. Okay, now adding assignments. This is the one that you're going to be working with the most for the distance learning. So if you can go to the CLASSWORK tab on your actual Google Classroom, if you're in there, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the Create button, and a drop down is going to happen, like I said before, and we're going to click on Assignment in this case. And what's going to pop up is this screen. So it's a big screen, and I typed in determining the theme of a story, and the instructions right here, that's what I put number 3, that's where the instructions for the student is. So I put do the following theme activity, and then there's my title. Down here, you can add activities. So let's say you have something in your Google Drive that you created. You click on the Google Drive and then you find it and it adds it in. Maybe you have a link you want to give them, like to go to a certain website. Maybe you have a file that's on your desktop that you want in there that they can see, or you want them to watch a video. So that's one way of assigning some content. Over here is just kind of where you're putting the when the due date is, and I'll talk about topic in a little bit, and then the rubric and the originality report, I'll talk about that a little later. This other one, if you click on the create instead of the add, you can create a doc, a slide, sheets, a drawing, or forms right there. You just click on it and it'll take you to a blank one, and you can start creating it, and it immediately attaches to that assignment. And then up here in the corner, you can click assign and it assigns it. If you want to wait a few days, you click on the arrow and it'll say when do you want to assign it, and you can do it like Tuesday or Thursday or whatever day you want to assign it. Kelly, just stop me if there's anything pertinent that I need to talk about.
You're good.
Okay. All right. Now, creating and assigning topics. So I like to assign the topics because then in my classwork page, it's all organized. So I would have ELA, math, language, whatever they are, the different topics I want in my class. I know my daughter's teacher for math, she'll have it by unit. So like unit 7, unit 6. So it's however you want to organize. So when you go to your classwork page and you push that create button, at the bottom, it'll say topic. So you're clicking on the topic, you get a pop-up window, and then that's where you're going to type in your topic. In the assignments, quiz assignments, or questions, when you're setting those up, right here, it'll say topic, and you just click on it, and this drop down will come. Whoops, sorry. And you can pick one that you've already created, or you can even create a topic here. So you don't have to create it within the classwork page. You can also do it within the assignment page, but usually in the beginning of the year or the beginning of, whatever session I'm doing, I'm going to create all of those sections just because it's easier for me. Okay, creating quiz assignments. I love this, and I think it'll be really good for distance learning because we can check in with our kiddos. So the way you create a quiz assignment is, once again, you go to that classwork page, the stream, click create, and you click on quiz assignment. What happens is this page comes up. What they create is a Google form blank quiz. And then you can click on here if you want your grades automatically imported into your gradebook, or if you don't. So if you want to look at those grades and then maybe not put them in the gradebook, or you do, you put it on grade importing. Then when you click on that blank quiz, you can create a form quiz. So let's say we covered linear equations in middle school, and I just want to get a little glimpse into where they're at. I can do a multiple choice, or I can do a short answer, and I can do a quiz based on those things that I'm covering. Are we good, Cal?
Yeah, I just wanted to address the parent thing really quick because the parent communication topic keeps coming up in the stream. So parents can get an email summary, but it's nowhere near as detailed as what they would be getting if you were using like Class Dojo or if you were using Seesaw. So Google Classroom is really a different purpose. It's very much for students to engage with assignments and to turn in assignments. I don't think that would be my first choice for parent notifications, although parents can get a summary email.
And I'm going to add to what Kelly says. What I typically did is I had my parents always sign in as their student, as their child. So then it would continually give them what their student was getting. So I like them to have that interface because I get the ones for my daughter and it doesn't give me a lot of information that I really need to know. So those are the two suggestions. But this quiz thing is really, really cool, and you can put the answer key in and it automatically grades it and puts it into your grade book. Okay, creating questions. So sometimes I might want to get the kids to interact on Google Classroom. So I would go to that the classwork page, and I would click on question. I'm going to put the question there. It could be short answer, it could be multiple choice. And then down here, you can click if the students can reply to each other. So if you put a question about something and a student makes a comment, you can enable a student to actually reply to that as well. The other option is letting them edit their answer. So that kind of gives them that perseverance in learning. But if you want that cold answer right from the brain, you don't want to let them edit it. Another option is just to put material in your Google Classroom. So what I would do is sometimes I have articles that I wanted students to read, but I didn't necessarily want to assign work to them. I just thought, you know what, let's read this and we'll talk about it later. And so I didn't want to have a grade on it. So I would put that in here, and I can do that add and create again, just like you did in your assignments. And that's a really nice place just to put those things, and it's not affecting their grade. Okay, grading assignments. So on the classwork page, you choose an assignment. So I'm gonna choose distance learning dream home. And I click on it and this window pops up. This is just the actual original assignment that I sent to my kids. Then I click on view assignment. And what pops up is this. And in this classroom that I created, I only have one student. And so we're gonna look at hers. And so what you can do is you can enter your points right here. So if it's out of 10 points and she did really well, I'm gonna give her a 10 out of 10 here. But you wanna return that grade to her once you've graded, or once your whole class has been graded. So that's how you get that grade back to her. Until you push return, it doesn't go back to the student. And then over here, you can add private comments to the students. So whenever we did essays and things like that, I like to leave little notes, or if they were doing presentations, I would put notes in there about their presentation. So I really like that feature. Okay, adding rubrics. This is the new cool thing that they actually started. And we all have access to it. So when you're on your assignment, let's say I'm doing an informational essay, and I put an informational essay and I put use the rubric to guide and check your writing. I would be more in depth in reality, but this is for time's sake. I go down to click the rubric, and what comes up is create rubric, reuse rubric, or import from sheets. I'm gonna click create rubric, and what pops up is this screen. And what you do is I started with focus. So I put focus there. I described what focus was, and then I did a 1, 2, 3. And this, when I push save, this is what it looks like in the rubric. So the kiddos get a rubric popped up that they can really look at with their work, and it's a really neat feature. If you want to manage the rubric, you go up to these 3 little dots, edit, delete, and export to sheets. Okay, originality reports. These are the ones that I was talking about before in your assignments. If it's a writing assignment and they're doing it in Google Docs, you can click that. It has to be Google Docs. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get any plagiarism to you, or the students are going to go, oh, I didn't mean to plagiarize there. It shows up that I'm plagiarizing. So you'll get that flagged, which is a neat aspect. Okay, so connected apps and sites. Some sites or apps make it easy to connect with Google Classroom. So like I'm going to give you a whole list. If you click on the link in the Power or the slideshow, it'll take you to many of the apps that we use right now that when you go into them, so Engage New York is a great place where they have performance task activities. So I went into that, and they have a little Google Classroom icon that you click on, and you can assign that problem to your class, and it immediately takes them there. And this is another site, if you look up in the corner and it has the people there, if you click on that, it'll assign this content. And then this one is for Flipgrid. So if you click on that, it takes you right to your Google Classroom assignments. So once we're done with this and you want to check out some of those sites, you can click on that and it'll show you the sites. I wanted to have my daughter show you some things that she has been using in her classroom. And these are some examples, but I'm going to have her talk to you in a second. But so Miss Ware, that's her math teacher. Once again, she does this by the unit or resources. And Senior Fern, he has it by each of his content, like questions. And then this is my daughter's landing page down here, which has all of her classes. And then like Miss Ware, she's been posting videos and content for the kids in Google Classroom. Okay, so I want you to be able to contact me at any point with Google Classroom, and we're going to do a Q&A in a second, but I wanted you to see a student perspective, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. So I'm going to get out of share and come on over, Mia. So Kelly, how are we on questions?
We're good. I've been getting them out, answering them as best as I could as soon as I get them in.
Okay, awesome. I was going really, really, really quick because I wanted to get through the content so that if you had any questions. She's going to show you on her, on your iPad? I don't have the app on my iPad. You don't know? Oh, is it the different one? Okay, so go on here. So come onto the screen. So when she pulls in,
can you just mirror it from there and they can all see it?
No, I'm just going to do it this way. So she can do it on here and she can have her menu. And then when she clicks into her classes, so like Mr. Mole has a school-wide ASB, so there's some posts there. So she can click on her ClassWork stream in there. She can click on the people. So it's fine. There's different options for the student that they can work with as well. And they're pretty well versed in it. The little guys though, we might have to train them just a little bit. So at this point, I wanna invite you to ask any questions to Kelly or myself, or any specific ones I can work on, because I wanted to get through that content really quickly so that I could help you individually as well.
Also, I just want to point out that if you guys need extra time or you need a one-to-one session, just send one of us an email and we'll walk you through it.
Mm-hmm. Was everybody able to log on? Can you get that away because it's too loud? Was everybody able to log on and add a class? No? Okay.
Thornton has not.
Okay. So
the class said it was full, so when I tried to go on, I got on 5-10 minutes late.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I got on.
Yay. I can walk you through, and if you see at the top, I have in the chat, there's the slideshow that you can click on. and it'll walk you through setting up a class. But tomorrow, Elaine, we can do one-on-one if you want for like 15 minutes. It'll be super simple to get you on. Is there anybody
Perfect.
else?
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anyone else who has questions or anything like that? I went too quickly.
Stephanie, I'm sorry. My background, I'm in the garage hiding from my 3 children.
I know, exactly.
I couldn't figure out how to get my name on the spreadsheet because I couldn't add a class. You just said join a class. So I don't know if anyone else is having that trouble or if you can just add me on that spreadsheet.
I will.
Mindy, I'll add you right now.
What was that?
Lori Gallimore, I'll add you right now.
Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Are you on your laptop, Mindy?
Sorry. Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. That's strange. Okay. Thank you.
It's probably operator error. I was trying to figure out how to do it, and I don't know. I'm doing something wrong.
Okay, cool. Are there any more questions or any more things that I can help everybody with? I went very quickly. I feel bad.
Stephanie, thanks for doing this. I have a question about what platform would be best to film a video for the kids?
So for the platform for filming, I would say either the Flipgrid, or do you mean like just to interact with your kiddos or to post something on there?
Just to post something, just to check in. Not the one where we have to interact with them twice a week, but just to say hi.
Well, I think if you did, do you mean the actual filming or the where would you want to put that?
The actual filming, do I just use my phone?
Yeah,
and
you
send it through?
You can just use your phone, or you could use any of like photo, like over on your, what's it called? Kelly, can you remind me, what's that called? The one,
Photo booth.
Photo booth.
Okay.
So you can use Photo Booth and you can upload it through there.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
This is Johanna.
Okay.
If we are making videos on Clips or iMovie, and we're showing things to our students, we want to embed that in our lesson.
Mm-hmm.
How do we take something from Clips or from another source and upload it to Google Classroom?
So that's when you would do the file upload, and then they would have to click on the file, unless you wanted to upload that to YouTube and on your own private page, and then share it that way through YouTube. So either just upload the file or do the YouTube video.
Okay, I tried that, but it's not recognizing the file, so I don't know. I must have done something wrong. So
what's the end of your file? What type of file is it?
I don't have it right in front of me. This was yesterday. So
would you mind emailing me and I
sure,
can walk you through it?
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Any other questions?
Stephanie, this is Cindy.
Hi.
What tips do you have? I have 2nd grade special ed, and I haven't taught them how to use Google Classroom yet. So what tips should I be calling each one individually and walking them through it? How should I be introducing this to them?
So what I'm planning on doing is to send out something that you can give to parents to walk them through the student aspect of it and how to sign up and how to do those activities. You could also do, when you do like a Google Meet or a Zoom, you could have them walk through doing it during that time too. If you wanted to verbally do it, it might be nice to have both of those.
Yeah, and because we're 2nd grade, they all are using their own personal devices.
Right.
So it's a matter of I may have to walk them through how to find the app and download it too.
Right, and then if they're on the, like my daughter likes to use the desktop she doesn't really like using the iPads for her Google Classroom work. And so I'm going to have all of those options, either the Google Classroom on the desktop or on the iPad and the phone. It's a little bit different on the phone too, not much. Okay. But I will provide that for you.
Okay, thanks.
Uh-huh.
I have a question, Ariana.
Hi.
In the past, when I would assign work that I would leak from Google Drive. There were 3 options. One of them was view only, make a copy for each student, and I think it was like a collaborative piece. And I tried doing a collaborative piece and I couldn't find that option. Is that no longer available, or is it under another category?
It's no longer available. And so what I want to address what you were saying, because that's awesome. There is that option where when you put in your doc, if you can make a copy for every student. So if you're doing an essay and you have that writing prompt at the top of the paper and you want each and every student to have a different doc to write on so that they're not writing together, then you do make a copy for each student. If you don't care and it's just material to go out, or you want them to collaborate on it, then you would just send it out as a read. Well, actually they would have to collaborate in the comments, but just send it as the read only.
And they can't upload pictures or anything on the comments. Would they need their own either Google Slides or Google Doc?
Yeah, and I think that's better because then you can review it. So going through another form like a slide or a doc would be better.
Perfect. Thank you.
I have a question as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I might figure this out as I'm going along, but I'm just kind of thinking, I used Google Classroom more often during the year, but I also used Seesaw for some of those activities.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if you recommend, should we just choose one and stick to it? Or can we use both Google Classroom and Seesaw, or what are you recommending for that sort of thing?
So I've noticed that a lot of elementary, like the lower elementary, mostly are using the Seesaw option. Google Classroom is a way for students to turn in work and submit it, and you can actually edit it and work on it. And I think that's more accessible for those kind of options. I think for Seesaw, it's more of that interaction, and students can post their work, but it's not as, the teacher doesn't have as much editing rights and things like that when it comes to the actual student work.
Okay. And then is there a way to, on Seesaw, is there a way to differentiate on Google Classroom? Like if there is a text that I post, how can I read that to them? Or options they can click on something so it can be me reading it to them?
So that's a really good question. And what I want to do is I actually need to add that to my slides. I'm so glad you brought that up. So you can differentiate because you can click on different students that you want to assign something to. So if you just want to send material to 5 of your students who have IEPs and you need to have the story read to them, you can click on those students when you go into that assignment. If you want, all of your class to get it, then you don't have to worry about clicking on each individual student. But yeah, you can do it to individuals.
Stephanie, this is Nina asking a question.
Hi, Nina.
Hi. I wanted to find out when teachers are doing video to say hello to their students and interact with them, can you tell us what are the rules that we need to go by? I know we have to make sure we're addressing ADA and all those good things, and that's going to happen on Friday, but I want to make sure any videos that go out there are safe for teachers, and then they're not worrying about, what's interpreted on the other side.
Right, for sure. And I mean, obviously, teachers need to view the videos beforehand. That's just the general rule for that. And then also, when you are doing, Nina, are you just talking only about videos, or are you talking about face-to-face or everything?
Well, one of the questions was, I know some teachers are looking at doing like a read aloud or some type of a morning meeting or something like that. And I know that in some of the information that's gone out to teachers, the idea of making sure that what they're videoing is safe. I have no problem with anybody being safe, but I just want to make sure we're addressing what all the laws are out there. So when things go into people's homes, we're addressing what we need to address.
Right. So we were just talking about this at the Ed Services meeting, and we're looking at Zoom, and we're looking at the Google Meet and the accessibility issue on both of those with the subtitles. That's one thing we'll be talking about on Friday. And basically, what I've done the research in is, as long as everything is educationally based, and you're using your school accounts, and it's linked to something that like your admin can actually check out to make sure that you're following all the guidelines, then you're good to go with doing any videoing along those lines. It's nice to have closed captioning if you can on your videos. What I'm finding is it's not necessarily the law, but it's very highly suggested that we have that. And that's why we're having so many thoughts about Zoom that we're not sure yet. But for sure on Google Meet, you can do the subtitles. But on Friday, a little bit more of that'll be addressed. Mm-hmm.
This is Johanna. I was going to jump in on that. I noticed on clips that you can go in and do text to speech as you're reading the stories.
Thank you.
It doesn't, there were some mistakes, so I needed to go back and clean a couple things up. But whatever the text that I was referring to, the directions I was giving my students, it would show it as a text at the very bottom of that. So that might be a way to go. I think those files get so big though, and I think that's why I'm having a hard time uploading files.
Right. I don't know if you remember Andy sent out a video to the whole staff. It was like last week sometime, and I was the one that was trying to post it, and I was driving places trying to get better internet because it would not load. Like I couldn't, my internet's good, but it just wasn't. It's just such big files that we're dealing with right now, and so many people are on that everything's just slow. So it could be that when you're uploading those. Any more questions?
Hi, Heather Taft.
Hi.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Hi. So because I couldn't view to, it used to be that there was like tabs at the bottom of the student view where they could attach a document or something along that line. Is that still the case, or do I have to supply the blank documents and then they go through that?
No, they can attach as well down there. You don't have to have the blank document. It could be just them doing a Google Doc and attaching it, or doing it, you know, maybe they're doing a different kind of app and they take a screenshot of it and attach it. They can still do that.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
This is Johanna again. If there's any way you could make a step-by-step printout of this for us, here are the steps. I know that we had that for some of our other online training at the beginning of the year, where here's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. As a resource to us, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, every time I go to a split screen, I lose your video, and then I have to click back in and find you again and put it back up. So if we had those step-by-step directions in a text, that would be, in a text format, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, for sure. And then I wanted to add too, like I had said before, that I will be making one for parents that you can send out so that Perfect. They can have that step-by-step as well.
Yeah, Stephanie Wade Nielsen, that's what was happening to me, or I was trying to go to, get on the dock or classroom, and then I'd come back, you were gone, and then I'd have to re-log in. And so, yeah, that would be really helpful. Thanks.
That's good to know too, because we would need to iron out all these bugs with the Zoom meeting and figure out what's causing that. So thank you for letting me know. And I did send out the slideshow to you. You have that, but sometimes it's nicer to have it in the doc format too. So I'll get that to you.
Well, yeah, Stephanie, what I found is I have your Zoom video on my laptop, and then I'm trying to do all the documents, everything else on my iPad.
Right.
Versus
and that's what I usually have about 2 devices going 2 to 3 at the same time while I'm doing something.
So I want to add in really quick, if any of you guys use Chrome as your browser, there is a Chrome extension called G Suite Training. It's really simple to add it, and it will walk you through step by step and also include videos of how to use every single thing that you'll find in your Google Waffle.
And I also suggest too that if you are using a browser, always use Google Chrome. It just works better than with all the applications. Okay, so if we don't have any more questions, I can let you guys go. And what can happen is I'll be here just to hear any, if you need any help, I'll support you. If you just message me, and I can walk you through, like Kelly said, we can do some one-on-one training. If you're really, really stuck, you just reach out to us and we're here.
Before you leave us, could you give us a real quick synopsis on what Google Forms is going to be covering? Are you teaching that later this week?
Yes, and it's just the basics, like getting people on, because it's, like I said, it's hard because we have such a broad range of expertise in the different apps. And so it'll be the basic of like, we're starting this, we're making a Google form. What can you use Google Forms for? How can you use that in your classroom for, just doing assessment and quick assessments and seeing where everybody's at. And I'll have some templates and different types of assessment forms that I've used in the past that might give you some inspiration.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think I'm going to sign off unless anybody has any burning questions.
And of course, I do know we're here. We've been working nonstop. So email us, text us, chat with us, do a Google Hangout with us, whatever you need, we're here to support you.
Very well done, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Stephanie, I do have one question.
Okay.
Before you go.
Okay.
This is Elaine Thornton. So I did go on Google Classroom and it says join your class and it's asking me for a code.
Okay, so
something.
I'm gonna let Andrew know, because that was one thing we covered in the beginning. Some teachers don't have the right role. And so Elaine, I'll email him immediately and he should be able to flip it so that you can add a class.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Can I ask you another question?
Oh, another question?
Yes, real quick. Just about the videos. I know my son's iPad is giving him access to YouTube. What are going to be the restrictions as far as our end as teachers to send videos to the students?
Did you say that it is giving him access?
Yes.
All day?
He has access. Maybe not all of the platforms, but he does have access to some YouTube videos.
Right.
How can we make sure that we're safe when we're sending a video that is in YouTube to our students? Because in the Spanish, I found a lot of good ones, but then I don't know if that will allow them easy access to something else that might not be suitable for them.
That's a very good question. And Brian Bicycle had sent out something about embedding videos instead of having them go directly to YouTube.
Okay.
And then it won't give you all those different choices to go to.
Right,
but it should be a secure environment. Brian has made it so that it goes from a certain time to a certain time, like during the school day. And after that, the kids shouldn't be able to access it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I think he extended the time a little bit at the farms. We had asked him to, because a lot of parents were saying they're coming home from work, but their child couldn't access things after 3:30 or 4, something like that. So if I'm not mistaken, I think actually Pete extended the time till 6:30 p.m. or 7 p.m. access to some of the things.
And that totally makes sense. But like I said, it should be a pretty secure atmosphere because it is within our school account and it's only what we can okay. That being said, there are those techie kiddos out there that find ways around it, but Brian's usually pretty on top of that. So, but if you get any notification of a student that was able to get onto something that wasn't what we want them on, please let Brian know immediately, because he can search that. And I'll double check tonight. I'll look at my daughters and see how late we're going, just to make sure, and I'll email out to you guys what the time is, and I'll ask Brian as well. All right, guys, thank you so much. And remember, like Kelly said, we are here for anything. Just message us. We want to work. We love it. All right, have a nice day.